you have just asked relates to what I may call problem definition. How have we as a country, as the leadership, defined the problem that affects Uganda? Because the problem well defined is 50% solved. Failure to define the problem properly. Defining this problem, that means therefore we are diagonizing it and learning its attributes. What are the details that are attributed with this problem? Be it like you said, agriculture. Let me leave just agriculture. Let's talk in general, poverty. Poverty. How have we defined the poverty? And how do we therefore intend to address it? One thing you should always know is we need an ideological persuasion that is in line with the cultural and social aspirations of the people of Uganda and Africa as a whole. What we are implementing to this day, it is still the ideological foundation that the British left here. And incidentally, because the scholars, humans and Ugandans since then have been going to study in other countries, China, Russia, Germany, America. So they have been coming with those ideas and bring a category. And making that category to now appear to be addressing the issues. No, it is not like that. The cultural aspirations of the British are not the same as Ugandans, as Africans. We had traditional foundations for which we believed in. In religion, we had spirituality, let me say. But today we still have a society that is deeply rooted in religion, which was left here by the British. So even if you are addressing as a government an issue here, he goes back to the church or the mosque that is uprooted from the mind. There is a disorientation within the mind because the other people remain the key agents of the British society here in Uganda, or the colonial society here in Uganda. If you are talking about addressing poverty, this man, you talk to him, tell him the programs of PDM, tell him programs which we have since implemented, prosperity for all. He goes to the church, they are telling him how he is cast, how the evil spirits are the ones affecting him from attaining development, how he should go and kneel down and pray in order to solve poverty. So you see the confusion. The person comes to church, comes to work. In the morning, he starts praying instead of working. Then they go for a fellowship. They start developing what they call worker fellowships. You have seen prayer breakfasts. People are organizing prayer breakfasts as a solution to problems. How can that be? That can never be. Prayer can never be a solution to poverty, to development, to human rights abuse, for example. It cannot be prayer. It requires a serious ideological thought. How do we redefine? How do we come up with a theoretical approach that addresses a practical problem? This is what Uganda requires, and this is what we should be pushing forward. Otherwise, if some section of society, remember what the current statistics, Christians and Muslims, the religious beings in Uganda, those who believe in religion, other than spirituality, you have to differentiate. They are over 90%. So you can imagine what kind of training they get. Every time they go to a mosque, go to a church. That is the beginning of poverty, because imagine a child growing up and seeing a bishop, a pastor, just picking money from the basket.
Going to church is the beginning of poverty.
That is